Hello and welcome to episode number 286 of the Launch Lounge podcast. In today's episode, you'll discover how to show up on social media without burning out, even if you'd rather do literally anything else with your time. You'll learn my exact strategy for turning social media from a dreaded time suck into a purposeful list building machine that actually moves the needle in my business. So stay tuned. When I started my business, I loved showing up on social media. I loved creating posts, and mostly I loved going live. You may have figured out that I like talking. I like teaching and I love connecting with people in that way. I have a musical theatre background, if you didn't know that about me, little fun fact. Yes, I am a musical theatre dropout who quit and moved to London from South Africa when I was 23 because mama needed to make some money. Was not making any money. I was having a lot of fun and really, really loved what I did, but wasn't making money, dropped out of musical theatre and went to London and did all sorts of crazy, insane jobs. That is a whole nother adventure for another day. But I absolutely when I started the business, I knew social media is the thing. When I tried my hand at networking, all the BNI meetings and the breakfast meetings and all the things. And if you've been here for a while, you know my story. It was the whole coaching era. The coaching era did not go down well. And the live networking, the in-person networking events, like I think I'd rather stick a fork in my eye than ever attend another networking event ever again. It's awful. But then I turned to social media and I was like, wow, I can use this and I can be creative and I can post stuff that's educational and post stuff that's entertaining. And, I like being a little bit self-deprecating and having fun. And so I loved social media. I was one of the only people that I know of in Australia that was using Periscope. Now, if you're as old as me and you've been around the interwebs for the yonkers of years that I have been there, you might remember Periscope. Periscope was the very first live streaming platform. It was built by Twitter and it went bust. And just as Periscope went bust, Facebook launched Facebook Live. And it was all the rage. And I remember, everyone in the industry, live broadcasting was almost as big as AI is right now. Everybody was talking about it. Because I was already comfortable broadcasting on Periscope, the day Facebook Live launched, I did a broadcast and it was amazing. And everybody kept saying to me, how are you doing this? And I started the Shine Show back then. And this was, goodness me, maybe 2016. Started the Shine Show and invited people to my house to come and sit next to me and have interviews. And the technology was so basic. Here's what we did, right? We couldn't go live. We could only go live from our phones back then. And the sound quality was quite poor because, you had to plug in a mic with a cable, no Bluetooth mics, just a cabled mic. So what I used to do is I used to turn my couch around so that it faced a window. So we had good light, and then we had the sort of a backdrop of my bookcase and photos and whatever as the backdrop. And then I would invite the person to come to my house. And I would plug in a little splitter into my phone that had two cabled mics. And so I would get a lapel mic with a cable, and my guest would get a lapel mic with a cable that went into the splitter and into the phone. We'd set the phone up on a tripod, and then we would sit so close to each other that we could literally smell each other's breath. And we would have a conversation with each other, but also with the audience on the phone. And we broadcast this live on Facebook back then. And it was so much fun. I had so much fun. It was the most wonderful experience. And I'm so happy I did it. And from that was born my very first online course. It was called the Facebook Live Superstar. And it was my first course. I sold it for $2,000. I taught myself how to run ads for it. That was, I completely took for granted how easily I was able to learn ads, because I didn't realize other people struggled to do that, which is possibly why I went on to sell that as a service as well. But learn how to run ads, ran $400 worth of ads, made $2,000. And I called it quits after that. I was so exhausted. I was like burnt out, man. So burnt out, because I didn't expect to just make $2,000. But I didn't know back then that $400 in ad spend, $2,000, it's a recipe for success. Should have just kept going, right? No, instead I quit. But that's also a whole nother story for a whole nother day. My point is, I loved social media. I loved it. But I was not making money the way I wanted to back then. Now, I'm smarter today. I would have done if I only did a few different things, I would have made a lot more money. But I didn't know it. That's what I had to learn. But as soon as I started making money, when I quit my job, and I started working as an ads manager. I started selling my services as an ads manager, and I was making $10K a month, which was mind-blowing to me at the time, making $10K a month just selling my services as an ads manager. And it was just me in the beginning. And I remember feeling completely like I literally, saw stars someday, from anxiety of, is the other shoe going to drop? Is this going to go away? And so in that space where I was so anxious about, is the other shoe going to drop, or is this going to go away? And having clients who paid me to run their ads, social media to me became not just a chore, it became a resentful chore. It became something that I felt like, I have to sit down and do this work. I don't have time to run around making photos at the time. It wasn't even mostly videos at the time. I don't have time to create social media posts. And so social media really became this thing that I felt really resentful doing. Whenever I had a spare moment, I would rather sit down and do work for my paying client. And then as my team started growing, I had to, pay attention to the team. And then we launched the podcast. And there were all these things that I always felt, these stakeholders deserve my time and my energy and my effort far more than an audience on a platform who has very little engagement and very little real interest in what I do, and is going to consume the information on a very shallow level. Because let's face it, social media consumption is cheap consumption, right? It is cheap content. It is pay only 3 seconds of attention, even if that much. It's a low quality interaction. And so I was like, nah, I can't put time into that. Every time I tried, every time I did, I was like, yeah, nah, I just can't. It's like making small talk, and I have better things to do, right? So it just felt like a waste of time. Today I know why it was a waste of time, and it's all the things that I've just said. But recently I have changed how I think about it, because mostly, I will say, because I am seeing how the algorithm is changing with ads, and I'm seeing how things are shifting, and I just feel like we cannot have all our eggs in one basket in online businesses anymore. I watched as people lost evergreen funnels in 2022 and 2023 when the iOS change came in. AI is very rapidly changing how Meta optimizes our ads, how they put our ads in front of people. Let me just say this, I have this low-level distrust of solely relying on ads to build a business. Yes, we do rely on it, and yes, it works within parameters, and yes, it is still one of the best ways to advertise. But for the longest time, I relied solely on ads to build my email list and word of mouth referrals, or a lot of referrals from Amy Porterfield, which you will know if you came to me from Amy Porterfield, which I'm very grateful for. And so I'm at this place where I'm going, no, we really do need to create SEO. And I don't mean traditional SEO. I mean AI SEO. I mean, or, people are searching for stuff on ChatGPT, and ChatGPT is sending them to websites. When they're searching for that stuff, are you showing up? Am I showing up? And I've had people apply to work with us in the agency who found us from ChatGPT. Because if you go in ChatGPT, if you go in ChatGPT and you ask, who runs Facebook ads for online courses? Ta-da! I come up. And that is amazing for me. And because they're there for the first time there, I'm able to be found in this niche upon niche upon niche upon niche, whereas Google could never find me because it's too small. Right. But it is important that we focus on these other things, that we do not just build our house on one pillar. So I don't look at social media as a waste of time anymore. I am looking at which platforms work the best, and I'm rolling it out like month by month. We will start using new platforms as we build the systems to integrate a new system, integrate a new platform. But I'll share with you, like Instagram right now, that's where we're at, right? I haven't even started using stories much. I don't know at this stage about Threads. I hear a lot of good things about Threads, but my feeling is where we're going to land is probably Instagram, definitely YouTube, definitely Pinterest, and possibly LinkedIn, right? I feel like that's where we're going to land eventually, to have a clear across the board, healthy social media presence in spaces where people consume the content in different ways. The same person who is on Pinterest and searching for things on Pinterest, they're in a different mode of thinking than they are when they're on Instagram. Right? So I want to tap into these different modes of thinking and these different modes of using content when I approach my social media strategy. So certainly now that I have a clearer idea of how to be strategic about it, I'm not thinking of it as a waste of time anymore. And I'm absolutely 100% using it to drive traffic to the podcast, because I know if people come to the podcast, then they get to know me, and they either don't like me and leave very quickly, or love me and listen to this show for years. It's kind of my experience. So if you're listening right now, thank you very much. All right. So there is a certain satisfaction that I will tell you when I look at my list growth and I see people came to my email list from Instagram. There is a certain satisfaction that I get when I see people came to my email list on my website, because I know everything that I have done in terms of creating traffic desire or being desirable for traffic on SEO and on anywhere there are people search and they're coming to our site and they opt in for a lead magnet, then all of that hard work for years and years and years is paying off. And that's a very slow slog to start seeing results, but it is the best slow slog because it's the most rewarding slow slog, right? But also in Instagram, when I see people went to the link in bio little thingamabobby, and they downloaded my lead magnet, I'm like, great. I don't know if they engaged with my post. I don't know which post actually sent them there. I can work it out with some ways. It's a bit tricky. It's not super clear exactly which post sent them to the link in bio. It's not exactly clear which post they used the keyword reply, and then that's the post that got them the thing. But it is satisfying watching people sign up to your email list after engaging with you on social media. So here's how I got over it. The first thing I did was I redefined what showing up means. For me, sharing my life on social media is an absolute no. I have noticed that I sometimes want to share my life because I like being funny and I like being entertaining. And sometimes my life is funny and entertaining. And then when I do, after a while, I feel violated. And this is all bullshit that lives in my head, right? There's no fact about that. Like, it is literally stuff made up in my head. But after years and years and years of being me, I have stopped fighting being me. I'm just embracing it. And I'm going, okay, so I'm not creating content when I'm in the gym. I'm not creating content when I'm hanging out with my friends. I'm not creating content when I'm with my kids. My content will be in my office, in my car, wherever, and it is not showing my life. And that has helped me redefining what showing up means, because showing up doesn't have to mean that you are showing up constantly. It doesn't have to mean that you are showing up personally in your, like, in any way, shape or form where you feel it violates your boundaries. And whether it does or doesn't, it's a moot point. If you feel it does, then you need to say, all right, when I create this kind of content, I feel it violates my boundaries. So I am not going to do that anymore. The same goes for, doing dances or pointing. I just felt like pointing at words on a screen is the stupidest fucking thing ever. Honestly, I cannot. So I will not, right? So I've redefined what showing up means. The second thing is batch it. Like, seriously, batch the work. You record and you create content one week a month. There is 1 week a month where you think about social media, where you put your whole head into it, where you create the videos, you shoot the videos in one batch, you build your entire strategy, and then you start implementing, and then you schedule it and you forget about it. And so what I'm doing is I have a board on Monday where I decide top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel. How often am I going to post which type of content? Top of funnel is usually funny, frivolous, engaging, relatable, humorous. I am posting top of funnel content to get reach. I'm posting top of funnel content to get engagement. I am not teaching anything. I'm not being super serious. It is just fun and relatable. Middle of funnel content could be things like podcast videos, right? It is something that is a little bit more like a complete stranger might not totally engage with it, but I might get their attention. But someone who knows me might actually watch the whole video. That's my middle of funnel content. And then bottom of funnel content has a clear call to action to do something outside of the platform. So download my 5-day video training. Get the 10K guide, apply to work with us in the agency. Those are bottom of funnel content. And I tend to post once a week bottom of funnel content, at the moment, twice a week middle of funnel, and the rest of the time top of funnel. Now, I don't post on Saturdays because I don't like engaging on the weekend. I don't want to think about it on the weekend, and I don't want to be part of it on the weekend. So I do post on Sundays, but I post on a Sunday night so that I can wake up Monday morning and engage, right? But you have to decide what works for you. So I've decided 6 posts a week is where we're going to start and what we're going to do. I've decided how many of those 6 posts need to be top of funnel, bottom of funnel, middle of funnel. And then I go, okay, how many of them should be, how many out of the 6 in a week, how many videos and how many carousels and how many static images? And I kind of just looked at what the gurus are doing. Like, I went, what's the ratio here of the people who are doing it well on social media? And I copied that for the first month. And then I looked at what worked. And now I'm changing. I was surprised to find that static images are not doing as well for me as they seemingly do for other people. So fewer static images will appear. I'm kind of seeing a similar result between videos and carousels, which is a bit of a bummer for me because I feel like making a carousel is so much more work than making a video. But, and videos, I mean, I love videos. Video is so easy. But, so now I'm kind of split. Half of the content is videos and half of them are carousels. And then maybe I throw a static image in here and there. And then I kind of try to see, is it, what sort of videos? Face to camera videos, B-roll videos. B-roll videos have been all the rage. Voiceover, is it the ones where I'm like being funny and doing those little, when people say funny things and then you repeat it and it's kind of like you mouth the words. Those seem to work really well for me. And then I tasted long copy versus short copy. And 90% of the posts that do well for me are short copy, which is, again, I was surprised. I was didn't know that. But I wouldn't have known any of these things if I didn't create a full month strategy and went, here's the 6 posts, here's what they're going to entail. And then at the end of the month, we look at which ones perform. And so now I can be strategic about it. And I can say, okay, so for next month, based on what has worked, let's update the strategy. Let's continue with top, middle, bottom. Let's change the ratio of carousels to videos and make an equal number of carousels as videos. Let's create 90% short copy and 10% long copy because that seems to work. So now I'm being a lot more strategic about it, and I literally do it. I start one day, do the evaluation of last month, create the strategy for next month, start mapping out like I Kanban it. Like we use Monday. So, once every single post has a publishing date and it has all of those elements for the strategy in it, then I just view it as a Kanban and I go, okay, let me knock out all the videos in one thing. I'm going to just hit record and record all the videos that I need for this. All right, now let me do all the carousels. And sometimes it requires me to come up with some copy that I give to my assistant and he puts it in Canva and he creates the images. And so then, so maybe I'll do all the carousels in one batch and then I'll write all the long copy and then I'll write all the short copy. So I try to batch all of those things and then I hand it off to him and he publishes it. So I want you to think about what your favorite format is. What's the format that works for you? And think about how can you Kanban it. And by Kanban is a way of viewing tasks in different groups so that it kind of groups the same kind of tasks together so that you end up with, in your month where you have 6 posts a week, you can very quickly view all of the posts that are video posts or all of the posts that are face to camera video posts and then script them and record them and you're done. And then B-roll videos, record yourself, be done. Batch it in that way and use the formats to batch it. And here's the other most important thing. Keep in mind that it's not about you. At the end of the day, it is you feeling like you're putting yourself out there, but it is not about you. If showing up means one person finally understands something they've struggled with, you showing up has been worth it. This is the most important shift. And to me, this is one of the things that I struggled with because my account didn't have much engagement for a long time. And when I didn't have clients, I could talk to strangers on the internet all day. But once I started working with clients and students, the engagement on social media to me felt so far removed from what my ideal customer would say to me. And I really felt it was wasting my time. But today, I know that engagement is not just about who replies or who sends me a DM. Engagement is about who downloads my lead magnets. That is the whole point of all of this. Who goes to my website and who eventually signs up for my course or my mentoring or work with us in the agency. So keep your focus on talking to your ideal customer. Remember, most people are lurkers, right? They're lurking now, but they might become your most profitable customer, right? So have the shallow conversations now on social media so that you can have the deep conversations later. Automate the hard parts. If you need tools to schedule it, we schedule straight into the Meta scheduling tool at the moment. I have used every other scheduling tool. I've bought Hootsuite at a ridiculous price, didn't end up using it properly. I've used Buffer, it worked great. I've used Later, it worked great. I hear Metricool is cool. Metricool is cool. For us, we just schedule it straight into the Meta scheduler and it is fine. It takes my assistant a little bit longer because it's not quite as streamlined as some of the other things. But you know what? It's one less tech thing that I have to pay for. And then I want you to set up boundaries. So here's what I did. And this is like life-changing for me. Honestly, life-changing. I have my personal phone. And I took my personal phone and I removed every single social media platform from it. I removed email from it. I removed TV from it. So no Netflix on my phone, no Prime. And if you're judging me because I had it on my phone, I'll come and get you. No, nothing, none of that. No news. Oh, that's the other one. I deleted news off of my phone. So my primary phone that I use on a day-to-day basis gets used for phone calls. There's a concept. Gets used for text messages. Gets used for WhatsApp messages. And it gets used for podcasts. That is it. That is all I use my phone for, and that's what feels healthy to me. In my office, I have a spare phone. It's an old phone, like it's 100 years old. It only has email and social media on it. Email and social media, is there anything else? No, I think it's just email and social media, but it's got every platform. It's got the Meta engagement tool thing where I can see all my notifications. It's got email on it. In the mornings, when I'm making coffee or when I'm waiting for my eggs to boil, I have boiled eggs for breakfast every day. I have done that for 20 years. I know, it's weird, but now you know something about me. When I'm waiting for my eggs to boil, or when I'm having my eggs, or when I'm sitting outside in the sun drinking my coffee, I pick up the office phone, I take it there, and all I do is I go to the notifications, I look at the notifications, I reply to comments, I engage with people, I go to very specific accounts that I'm following and I try to engage with those accounts. I do not scroll. Because I find just scrolling fills my head with noise, fills my head with things that I think I need that I don't need. I'm done scrolling. Scrolling is done for me. And then I clear my inbox. Because I find that it's quicker for me to just swipe right on an email and clear that email from my phone than to come into my desktop on my computer, stand here, and then I'm tempted to read all the newsletters and all the, whatever I get. So set some boundaries because that creates a really healthy way. I've just decided that I no longer want social media to be on a device that is so critical to my life that I have to take it everywhere with me. And that I have to have it on all the time, that I have to have alerts and things. There's no notifications. I get nothing pings, nothing pongs, nothing chimes. I cannot have social media be with me everywhere I go. I cannot. And I'll tell you, since I did this, I've been reading loads more books. It's great. And the last thing I want to leave you with is outsource whatever you can. Find someone who can help you. Use AI. You don't have to, AI doesn't have to sound not like you. You can use AI in so many ways. I think people, what absolutely slaps me in the head about people and AI is when people say, but it doesn't sound like me, or it doesn't come out like me. And I'm like, you are the creative person. You are the one who need to play around with it and figure it out and find solutions. It is an epic tool. But if you want someone else to tell you how to use it, then I'm going to say you need to work on your ability to think. You have a brain. You have creativity. You can think. So go to AI and think and say, well, I have a coaching call. I can upload that. Let me do that and ask AI, hey, here's something. Can you help me get social media content from it? Or ask AI, I don't know how to ask you how to help me create social media content. How can you help me? It's going to give you 1,000 options. Choose one and then follow that trail. Like, be creative. The only people who complain about AI are people who are not creative, people who just want other people to tell them what to do, right? Go and be creative. Figure it out. Ask it. Play around with it. If you don't agree, start a new thread. Say something else. Try again. Use AI, all right? Okay, here's what I want you to imagine. Picture yourself next month checking your email and seeing notification after notification of new subscribers who found you through your social media content. You're not stressed about what to post tomorrow because you've got it all planned out. And you're not glued to your phone, scrolling mindlessly because you've set those boundaries. And best of all, you're actually excited to check your analytics because your social media is doing what it's supposed to be doing. It's building your email list and it's growing your freedom empire. Social media doesn't have to be the enemy of your productivity or your sanity. When you approach it strategically, it becomes one of your most powerful tools for building the business that gives you complete freedom. So pick one strategy from today's episode. Maybe it's batching your content or setting up that old phone for social media only, and implement it this week. Your future self, the one that is thriving, that has a thriving email list and a business that runs without you, being glued to Instagram all the time, is counting on the action you take today. This Tuesday coming up, I am going to share my current tech stack and why I changed everything. You'll find out how I'm cutting thousands of dollars in my business, reviewing my tech stack and increasing productivity and creating a much better experience for my customers. So make sure you tune in this coming Tuesday. Thank you for hanging out with me today. I'll see you on Tuesday. Bye. Before you go, if today's episode helped you, imagine how many more lives could be transformed if other creators, coaches, and experts found these strategies too. Your shares and reviews help more course creators discover how to get their knowledge out into the world. Please take a moment to rate the show and leave a quick review. When you do, we get to reach more people and we make a bigger impact together. Because when more people who help people succeed, the world becomes a better place. Thank you.